So good evening, good evening, good evening. We are back again. What a difference a week makes. Since the last time we did the podcast, we've now lost twice. And we're going to dissect probably both of them games if we're being completely honest. Big up to everybody inside, nearly 400 in here. Get the likes up. 80 likes is shambolic. There's 379 in the building. Make sure you sub to Jez, pinned comment. Make sure you follow Kenny on Insta, pinned comment. And I will be live straight after this for the watch along for the only undefeated team left in the Premier League. And it's been, I suppose, in a way, a fairly decent weekend for us after capitulating in emphatic fashion because Liverpool drew and Aston Villa lost. So, the only downside was Man City walloped Bournemouth. But Jez, happy Monday. How are you, mate?
Yeah, all good, man. All good. Still annoyed. But, you know, it is what it is, man. Shocking, really, what happened at Newcastle. But I did call it. And I said it's going to be a tricky trip up to Newcastle. And sadly, I was proved wrong. Right. But the thing is, I got criticised for saying, oh, well, you know, you're a plastic, this and that, you know, you don't want Arsenal to win. Really? Yeah. I think that's actually not right. I think actually I do want them to win. All I did was give my honest opinion of my knowledge of what's going to happen with the club. And I've been calling it. Kenny's been calling it. Lee, you've been calling it. Many people in the chat have been calling it. Arteta is being found out. He's found his levels, and it's time for him to go, as once a very great man said that. And yeah, enough is enough. I'm fed up now. I've had enough of it.
Totally agree. Kenny, how's your Monday going, mate?
Monday's going really well. I've managed to excuse myself from watching the debates on Sky and watching, like I said, reading anything on Twitter. Although I did go on Twitter because I was on a very good show, enjoying myself yesterday, where thankfully we talked about football, and that's hopefully we're going to continue that today. I've just had enough of these top gooners. I'm sick of them. I'm just sick of them. I'm sick of the rubbish they put on. I mean, they are so insincere. They are so desperate for likes and follows and recognition. You know, they call themselves allegedly top gooners. The rubbish they talked about. Not once they spoke about the game. All they talked about is infamy. VAR's got infamy. Let's get behind Arteta because the club are backing Arteta unprecedentedly because of his stance. Because they know he's going to get a stiff talking to and probably a fine and maybe a touchline ban because of what he said. So let's all get behind Arteta. Let's not talk about the real issues at the football club, especially the team that, we've struggled to break down good teams. 5 players who were mainstays last season, who had fairly good seasons, have now gone backwards. 2 of them are players that we rely on for our attacking, impetus in football matches. But no one wants to talk about that. No one wants to talk about the fact that, don't even want to talk about the goal. I mean, I was taught when I played footy, you always play to the referee's whistle. To this day, I don't know if any of the players got any refereeing qualifications. I don't understand how 3 phases of play we went a goal down. You know what I mean? But no one wants to talk about that. They want to talk about, was it offside? What did the ball go out of play? And was it a foul with Gabriel? Well, you know what? Know the rules, guys. If the referee isn't sure, or the assistants aren't sure, or the video assistant referee isn't sure, the attacking team gets a decision. Just like we got a decision last year against Liverpool when we got a handball decision at the Emirates last season. It went our way. We won 3-2. No complaints. Yet Arsenal fans want to complain because it didn't go away. Just please put your tissues away, put your violins out, and stop boring me to tears. You're spoiling my day. Let's just talk about football.
Before we do talk about football, I want to read out the club statement that this club shamelessly put out. Embarrassing. Anyway, let's read this out. This is on the official website. all over their social medias as well. Arsenal Football Club wholeheartedly supports Mikel Arteta's post-match comments after yet more unacceptable refereeing and VAR errors on Saturday evening. This is the bit that got me, though. We would also like to acknowledge the huge effort and performance from our players. Well, shouldn't they be giving effort anyway? Yeah, and the travelling supporters at St James's Park. The Premier League is the best in the world, with the best players. Well, that's debatable, actually. Best players playing Saudi. But there we go. Is what it is. The coaches and supporters, who of all of whom deserve better. PGMOL urgently needs to address the standard of focus on action, which moves all of us on from retrospective analysis, attempted explanations, and apologies. We support the ongoing efforts of Chief Refereeing Officer Howard Webb, and would welcome working together to achieve the world-class officiating standards our league demands. All right, whilst that's cool, yeah, that you can put that statement out, lads, right? Yeah. When it goes the other way, he comes out with stuff like, oh, well, you know, mistakes happen. So why is he kicking off? Listen, me personally, on the watch-along, I said, well, it looked like the ball's in. There's no actual angle of that ball, yeah, in line. There's no camera angle of it in line. And what's duped so many people, the ball is a sphere. It is round. Camera angles are deceiving at the best of times. The amount of times I think a ball's gone in and it's 5 yards wide, yeah, or it's coming towards the camera, yeah, but it looks like it's gone in. Yeah, when a ball is out of play, but the camera angle is looking above it and side on, yeah, and it's still in play, it could look like it's out of play. Yeah, we've seen this so many times in football. People are comparing this to Marcus Rashford's one. The Marcus Rashford one's completely different because the ball actually went out of play. Yeah, I don't think that went out of play. But three of our players, as Kenny rightly alluded to, Benjamin White, William Saliba, and Jorginho all stood there having a mother's meeting. Didn't even react. Then the ball comes into the box. Gabriel was already halfway down anyway. Yes, he had hands on him. And me personally, from certain angles, I think, yeah, it does look a bit sus. Probably should have ruled it out. But then from other angles, I think he was going down anyway. Yeah, and it weren't a proper lunge. It was just hands on the back. Then I've seen it, well, it could have been handball when he's doing that. Cool. All of this is cool. This is all great. We could rule the goal out, but they didn't. Right? That's fine. Cool. Whatever. Yeah, have your goal. What happens to the other 97 minutes? Yeah, because that's what I'm looking at, Jez. We had one shot on target, and that one shot was a feeble effort from Gabriel Martinelli. Other than that, what did we create? Because I remember Karen Wilson spooning one out of the stadium, yeah, from about 4 yards out. Yeah, I remember Gordon miscontrolling one about 4 yards out when nobody was anywhere near him. If he wallops that with his left, he probably scores. Instead, he tried to be cute and take it down with his right, and it come off his foot. Yeah, the game weren't great from either team. Yeah, and fine margins ended up winning them the game. Cool. Yeah, wrong decision, if you want to call it a wrong decision, cool. Yeah, got no drama with that. But all that manager has done, Jez, for me, and that football club have done afterwards, backing him up, right, is now divert away how crap that performance was. Yeah, after how crap that performance on Wednesday was. Yeah, when is it acceptable to call this out? Instead of him losing his rag, cool, fair play, you feel you've been wronged. I understand that. Fergie used to do it all the time. The difference is, Fergie would go and win the game before, and the game before, and the game before, and he'd win the next 5 after. Yeah, this manager looks out of his depth, mate. What do you make of it all, Jez? Because firstly, do you think it should have been a goal? And even if you do think, don't think it should have been a goal, or do, either way, what happens to the other 97 minutes of that game?
Well, let's put it right. It clearly was a goal. I don't see where there was any offside situation at all. I don't believe there was a foul. And just to reiterate what you just said, I watched, somebody just put it in the chat as well. BN Sport, right, have their own setup. Yeah. And I've watched that replay numerous times. The letter of the law states that the whole of the ball must be out of play. Yeah. So that ball, not the whole of the ball, i.e. the sphere, was out of play. It might be a fraction, but you can clearly see it on their own thing that they've got on the camera, the whole of the ball was. I thought it was. I won't lie. When I saw that, I thought, that ball's out. Having seen it again, which VAR obviously reviewed, the whole of the ball was not out of play. Therefore, it is still a live ball. So, what did I see from that game? You've just asked me the question. All I saw was backways, sideways passing in midfield. It was shocking. As soon as I saw that midfield, I once again said to myself, this game is done. It was the same against West Ham. It was the same against Newcastle. And the fact remains, this manager has had his time. He's had his time. He's had his go. He's given it his best shot. He's spent a lot of bloody money, and he's just not the levels. And it's not personal. I call him out. It's not personal. Yeah, I call him a prick because I think he is, because he's absolutely ruining this club. He's ruining certain players. You tell me one player he has improved since he's been at this football club. All I've seen is players going downwards and out of the door. Yeah. Guendouzi, a decent player, made one misdemeanor at Brighton, gone. Because I think the problem is now the players are getting fed up with Arteta. They're fed up with his arrogance. They're fed up with his boring tactics. They're fed up with the way he treats them. So I think he's done, man. I seriously think this guy is done. And I think the players are just saying, sod this. Sod this. Fed up with it. Had enough. Because we've seen players. I mean, what's happened to Partey? What has he done wrong? Is he injured? No, I don't believe he's injured at all. I think he's fallen out of Arteta, much like Aubameyang. Aubameyang disappeared, injured. No, he wasn't. He was kicked out the club by Arteta, trained on his own, other side of Colney, right? This man is a major, major problem at this football club. He's a cancer. He's a cancer in this club, much like certain big Arsenal channels. They are a major problem in our fan base. And I've just about had enough of this bullshit, and I'm fed up with it. And I said to you the other night, I'm sorry I'm having a rant, but I'm really wound up about all this now, is the fact is, these people need to shut their whining little gobs, right, before somebody sticks their foot in their mouth. And I would be happy to be one of them, because they are absolute bloody clowns, a lot of them. And they cause the absolute embarrassment in our fan base. And I'm so angry about it, Lee and Kenny. So angry about it. I'm fed up with it, because I've just had enough of watching my football club, right, that I've supported all my bloody life, go down this absolute rabbit hole of bullshit. Fed up with it, man, because I've never, ever, ever seen this is the worst manager I've ever seen in my football career at Arsenal. Seriously, we've had some not great managers. Lee, you've seen Kenny in past history. We've had some poor managers. This is the worst of the bloody worst. Absolute joker. And he needs to sod off very quickly, because I'll tell you right now, and I say it, we ain't winning jack crap this season. Jack all. And I'm 4 years, man. 4 years this guy's been here, and he's done absolutely nothing but take the club downwards. No player has improved with him, and I don't think anyone will ever improve with him, because at the end of the day, all he does is piss off the players, and they get out the club because he is too arrogant. Enough said.
Nah, listen, well spoken, mate. I agree. I think there's a lot of players that have had enough of him. I can't lie. The thing is, we can see that he's a control freak. We can see that it's his way or the highway, which is cool if you're winning. Yeah, same with Pep. Pep does it. He's a master. Sit down and shut up. Nobody talk. Nobody speak. Yeah, but he's got credit in the bank for years and years and years of proven success. This guy's ego is as big as Pep's, and his ability is literally nowhere near it. Yeah, how about start winning stuff? Yeah, it's a well and good claim kicking off about referees and VAR. He makes more mistakes per game than any of them refs. Yeah, let's just be real with it. Yeah, he sat in a press conference before the West Ham game, Kenny, yeah? Right, he sat in that press conference and said, I'm treating this like a Premier League game. So why did nobody call him out afterwards when we got absolutely annihilated and said, well, I thought you were treating it like a Premier League game, so I take it you're starting that 11 at Newcastle then? Because that 11 that played on Wednesday, we ain't going to see that again all season. Yeah, he's an absolute liar.
The thing with him is that you know the sort of words that that they were using with Unai Emery and Arsenal towards the win. The buzzword was unsustainable. Then that's saying about the way we're playing there. People are calling them out, and then they're getting shouted down. There was a young lady, Izzy Christensen. She thought it was a great idea to talk about the match. You go on Arsenal Twitter, she's getting ruined, abused, called all sorts of names that she's clueless. She doesn't know what she's talking about. Yet the things that she's pointing out about our teams being able to work us out and that we're not creating any chances at football that certain players have lost.
To cut you off, we're 15th in the league for created chances.
Yeah, and that's the thing. She's mentioned all of that. Jamie Carragher's corroborated it, but she's out of order. Yet during the game, if you go on Arsenal Twitter, you would see their true colours, and that's the thing. In game, emotions is where you really are who you are, and straight after the match is your true emotions. And the problem is, a lot of Arsenal fans have seen that it works to be a clickbait merchant in terms of negative positivity, because it doesn't matter. You've got all of them. I can name all these people, these alleged top gooners, who have the audacity to think they speak for every one of us and that they're spokesmen because, TalkSport or Sky might ask to come on, once in a while. The problem is our performances don't lie. We haven't played well for 75% of our games. We only played well against PSV, Bournemouth, second half against Sheffield United, and we had a very professional performance at Sevilla. All the rest of the games have been scratchy. And I've said that if you play like that and you rely heavily on your athleticism, i.e. your big lads or your pace, in order to outlast the opposition, because that's what we're doing. We're outlasting them. And that's how we're where we're going. Again, this guy's right. Ian Wright, he's everything that's wrong.
Tweeted today.
But Ian Wright is everything that's wrong with what's going on. And a lot of ex-players as well on certain channels. They don't want to talk about where we're going wrong this season and how eventually there's going to be an almighty crash. We've had 3 warnings. They're not going to be heeded. But they just want to talk about VAR, make themselves more popular. I mean, what popularity does Ian Wright need? He's already popular. I mean, he's got the freedom of London. What more does he want? Yeah. He's already... A lot of Arsenal fans tell me that they start supporting the club because of Ian Wright, and they lionise him. I mean, what more does he want? It's like it's equivalent of a scene out of Friends. There was one guy called Ross. He loved Rachel, but Rachel didn't reciprocate it. Then he finally got Rachel. So when he finally got Rachel, he was still going on and he was courting her. And she said, "Ross, you got me." In a sort of humorous way. But that's how some of these fans are. They just want to keep on, reassuring us of their popularity. But the fact is, we will still be playing right now, and we still wouldn't have scored. We didn't have a hope of breaking Newcastle down. And Newcastle, by the way, that had their own injury crisis as well. They had no Isak, they had no Tonioli for suspension, they had no Botman, their first choice, and Harvey Boyens. And Harvey Barnes, who deputised for Gordon, didn't play. Yet they devised a style of play where they said, "Look, we're going to go light for light with Arsenal. We're going to make ourselves difficult, play low blocks, and then see where it can get us, see what chance we've got." And they got their chance and took it. That's how they played. Because last season, when they went expansive, we murdered them because we done them on a break, and that's what's happened. That's football. But what about West Ham? That was a catastrophe. I was there getting soaking wet. It was a catastrophe. As soon as West Ham scored their first goal, they weren't gung-ho, but they were waiting for us to make fools of ourselves, make mistakes defensively, and we duly did that, and that's how they got control of the game. Trust me, West Ham, they really, really wanted to, could have won 6 or 7, and then no Arsenal fan would complain about it. Yet, what we have now is, don't be upset. We've only lost once.
Brentford, Brentford bloody beat West Ham.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? And it's the same sort of situation. People tell us to calm down. It's not the same as last season. We only lost once. We still got, it's challenged for the title. And I say to myself, hang on here. We are where we are in spite of our performances, not because of our performances. Because we saw this to a certain extent, Unai, where certain aspects of play were not sustainable, and eventually teams were better to work us out. I think, hang on here, we don't have to. We can play the high line because we're defensively organised, and we can pick this side apart because their midfield's non-existent, and that's a fact. Our midfield is non-existent, like Man United's. Only people are not ready to see it. How can you've gone for a midfield, a Partey, Odegaard and Xhaka, where Partey ran the thing, and he turned defence into attack by one run, and other players were able to get in attacking positions. We now got Jorginho, who can't play like Partey. He just gives the ball, lends it to other players, and then keeps it ticking over, but not in a positive way. He doesn't make forward passes. When was the last time Jorginho's done a forward pass? Which means Odegaard's got to go next to him. Which means teams have got nothing to worry about in an offensive way. Without Jesus, our attack is so predictable. It's bad. Martinelli and Saka are easy to play against without Jesus on the side. But no one wants to talk about that. They want to talk about the fact that we got cheated on Saturday. And by the way, that was not a foul on Gabriel. Gabriel was trying to con the referee, and he duly got what he deserved, nothing. And then the offside was inconclusive. It wasn't offside, in my opinion. And I thought the ball went out when I first saw it. But if the referee, Lionel and VR, are not sure, then it's a goal. Move on. Let's talk about what's really worrying us and what's concerning us, because this is 20 years without him winning the league, and yet no one wants to, like I said, allay our worries. They just want us to be quiet and be happy. We've only just lost once. Come on, get lost.
Like that comment that I've just replied to there. Any positive facts today? Yeah, here's a fact. Yeah, which might wake you up, mate. What's to be positive about? 31 years no League Cup, 30 years no win in Europe, 20 years no title, and 4 years no FA Cup. What are we supposed to be positive about? Well, because we moved up from 8th to 5th to 2nd. Sorry, mate, we just lost by less. Yeah, whilst we've been in every competition. He's thrown 13 trophies in the bin out of 14.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. The thing about it, right, is that when I was coming out of the London Stadium, apart from the conversation we had regarding the goalkeepers, one guy said, that performance reminds me of Wenger. Well, to a certain extent, Newcastle away would remind me of the Wenger performances where we were playing tiki-taka football, doing anything. We weren't making a forward pass. We were just basically saying, passing it around, see if we can just do little triangles, and we're getting worked out very easily. That is a Wenger performance.
And then we just get bopped 1-0. Yeah, right.
Yeah, exactly. That was a thing. The last two performances, Lee, are Wenger performances, especially West Ham.
What has actually changed, though? Real talk, right? What has actually changed, right? Apart from the level of PR around this man, right? Because Arsene Wenger, despite him being lauded and adored by a large percentage of this fan base, and fair enough, listen, he done great things at times. Yeah, we all enjoyed winning them trophies. Yeah, let's not kid ourselves. But I never see Arsene Wenger have this level of backing from a fan base that this guy's got. And Wenger had credit in the bank, so I kind of got it. Yeah, like he went 9 years without won one. So what's changed? The only thing that's changed is the other club are peddling out about him.
It's not the club. It's not the club. The PR is only successful if people buy into the PR. Now, when you've got fans, I can categorically tell you what's going to happen on Wednesday. And I don't even have to turn up there, but I will turn up. This is what's going to happen. There's going to be fans singing loads of Mikel Arteta songs and saying, we love you, Mikel. We're going to back you. We thought you were at what you said. We really put the club on the map. We're proud of the club for sticking by our manager. And then for the first 5 minutes of the game, it would just be pure Mikel Arteta songs. The PR's worked. So which means, but let's not forget, this manager is the most protected manager we ever had. Let me tell you something. I've never seen
protected manager in world football, mate, ever.
But we got to talk about Arsenal because it's an Arsenal show. But George Graham never got hampers from Havertz. Arsene Wenger, was eventually told to, turn it in and, pack his bags. This guy has got so much control of the club. It's unreal. There's a lot that we're not being told about what's going on with Partey. We're not talking about, and then I don't know what's going on with Odegaard, right? But maybe he's injured, maybe he's, but he can't be happy with this kind of, the kind of play we're playing this season. Saka can't be happy. Martinelli can't be happy because they've been given.
They're living on scraps.
Like I said, well, yeah, they're living on scraps, and they've got a pattern of play. They've got tactics which are not enhancing their position. They are badly in need.
Declan Rice has looked amazing, and listen, he has been very good. Declan Rice, I think he's been our best player, right? But having Declan Rice in that team, he can't do it all on his own. We need to find a way to get him and Odegaard linking up more than they do. Yeah, and that means we have to buy another midfielder and maybe move Declan Rice over to where what's his name, Jorginho or Havertz have been playing here and there, where Xhaka used to play, because I think that's where we were supposed to be buying him to play. But that means either putting Thomas Partey back in, which it looks like he ain't ever getting back in. Now, I think he'll be gone in January or the summer at least. Definitely the summer.
Do you think he's injured? Do you think Thomas is injured?
I don't think he's injured. No chance. They're trying to get him out. They're trying to get him out, mate. Yeah, and they're getting him out for many reasons. One, he's always injured. And two, there may be, allegedly, some off-field stuff. Yeah, and the club are just going to distance themselves from that. Yeah, and just get rid of him. Yeah, so that's cool. Get rid of him if you want to get rid of him, but you're doing it to the detriment of this team right now, right? And if he has done certain things off the field that we're not privy to, but the club are, then fair enough. We'll just terminate his contract and bin him then. Yeah, we've done that. How many terminations since Edu's been here? You're telling me we can't terminate him with just over a year left? Right, there you go. There's your money. Jog on. Right, if you want to get rid of him, you can get rid of him. Yeah, and my point is, Odegaard has been a shadow of the player he was last season. Right? I don't think he's injured. I think they just said, we'll take him out the limelight for a little bit. Yeah, get him out the limelight because everyone's been on his case this season. Yeah, and rightly so, because he's been stinking the place out every week. Right? Bukayo Saka, in that Newcastle game, looked lost. Looked absolutely lost. Martinelli had a little go. Yeah, had our only shot. But again, he's a shadow of the player last season. Them three players scored about 40-odd goals last season. Yeah, mate, how many goals they got this season? Yeah, they're not going to touch 40 goals. Martinelli's on how many? I think Martinelli's on 2. Maybe I'm wrong. Yeah, let me have a look at his stats. Martinelli's league goals this season is on 1.
Yeah, but what about Benjamin White and Zinchenko then? Zinchenko, Benjamin White.
Way off better. Well, Zinchenko's crap anyway, yeah. Right, and he was crap last season.
But
Ben White's falling off a cliff.
Yeah, but so Zinchenko, though. What would we think about Zinchenko? We tolerated Zinchenko's defensive
why is he falling off a cliff? He's falling off a cliff because Granit Xhaka was masking half of his defensive deficiencies. Let's be real with it. Yeah, I don't like Granit Xhaka. He had a great season last season and well done to him, yeah. He was masking that idiot's defensive incapabilities, right? Because he was always out of defense and out of position, and Xhaka just slopped back in there. Yeah, do you know what I mean? Like, and I called him out anyway, like that's Zinchenko, most of the season. Yeah, cool. He looks good in midfield. Maybe play him in midfield then. Yeah, because he can pass a ball. Yeah, he's got good siding footwork. Maybe play him in midfield instead of putting Havertz there. Put Tomiyasu at left back or Kivior at left back. Yeah, maybe put some defenders that can defend at left back. Yeah, then put him who can unlock a door. We see it last season. He has got good footwork and he can spot a pass. So maybe play him in midfield. Yeah, next to Declan Rice, and we might have a bit more. People keep telling me we're controlling the games more. Yeah, because we burned ourselves out last season by going 100 miles an hour. Right? Let me tell you this right now. Yeah, this idiot knocked us out of every cup competition last season. Yeah, there's no excuse now. There's no excuse now. You have to win something. Yeah, and I'm still fuming from that West Ham game, right? Because you've got 3 more games spread over a 3-month period to make that final. And you're telling me our squad can't handle an extra 3 games in 3 months. Yeah, well, that tells me the squad ain't good enough then. So why was everyone lying all summer? Oh, we fixed the squad. No, we ain't. I said it was a 4 out of 10. It was a 4 out of 10 window. Yeah, we have not fixed that squad. In fact, if anything,
we're not going to. Look, the fact is, right, is that People mistake.
Thank you for the super chat as well, mate. I did reply in the comments. Thank you, mate. Go on, mate.
Yeah, but the thing I've been saying it all season. By all means, squad depth means two things. It means, for me, squad depth means quantity. Doesn't mean quality, and that's what the situation is. There's no doubt we've got numbers in, but you shouldn't have. If you've got a squad depth that that our fans led us to believe, then you shouldn't have a gap in quality when players are injured. I mean, come on, that team. You take Partey and Jesus out of that team. That's it. That team's average. Yep. Odegaard can't play football without those two. Saka and Martinelli won't have the space without those two. And Benjamin White, won't be able to make those runs, marauding runs to support Saka without Partey and the team. But the problem is we're lionising Declan Rice for just doing the basics because he does them really well. And I say this respectfully because I love Declan. He's a great guy and he's a great player. He's going to be a great player. But why are we lying to ourselves and saying that Declan is giving us what Partey's giving when he isn't? Because the reason why he isn't, because he can't. He isn't that player yet. But the minute you say that about Declan Rice, you can't say it. Well, why not?
You've got an agenda.
Why not? Are we an attacking team or not? Are we an attacking team or not? Help me out.
We're supposed to be. We're supposed to be.
You're right. If we're attacking,
and I think a big problem we've got as well is the fact that I said this to Jay and his dad. Big up to them. I dropped them at the airport earlier. Big up to them for coming over for the weekend. Yeah, and like I've said before, Jay's old man's ready to give his season ticket back, and he's been going 51 years, mate. He's had enough. Yeah, he said to me multiple times this weekend, we're always 2 or 3 players short, and we have been for about 40 years.
Yeah,
always 2 or 3 players short. Yeah, all the way through Wenger, and even before Wenger, we were 2 or 3 players short. Yeah, fair enough. We've won a lot of stuff along the way. But if we'd got that extra 2 or 3 players, we probably would have won about another 10 trophies in the last 20 years or 30 years. Yeah, we're always short. We're short again. Yeah, Thomas Partey, you can't rely on that guy for a whole season. He's never going to stay fit for a whole season. Yeah, not only that, he's over the age of 30 now. Yeah, he's got a lot of mileage on the clock. Yeah, but he can give us a killer pass, and he can make that pass and pick the ball up from defence. Look at when he came on against Man City. Without that ball from him, we ain't scoring that goal. How many other players in our team can do that ball from that far in midfield? None. Declan Rice has been quality, but Declan Rice looks miles better than he actually has been because the rest of them have been trash. Yeah, let's just be real. Declan's took to Arsenal like a duck to water, and fair play to him. I rate it. Yeah, he's not an idiot. He's a professional footballer who is professional. Yeah, you ain't going to see him out getting mullered on a weekend, or going nightclubbing like Rashford and all of that lot. Yeah, he's actually going to keep his nut down, and he wants to be a success at Arsenal. But let's be real here. As good as he's been, like you said, he ain't done anything that we didn't already know he could do. Like, he just looks good and really good because the rest of that midfield has been absolutely garbage all season. Yeah, so he's now trying to do everything. And he's running around. He's got a bit of passion in him. He'll get stuck in. Yeah, he'll make some nice passes, but he can't do killer balls like Thomas Partey. Yeah, maybe he'll score more goals than Partey over a season. Cool. Yeah, but ultimately, we need a proper midfield. Yeah, and he can't do it on his own, mate. Yeah, and then if you keep doing this Kai Havertz and Jorginho crap, I mean, come on. Yeah, that's got to be. Well, that midfield we played on Wednesday has got to be the weakest midfield I've seen at Arsenal for a long, long time. Vieira,
it's the weakest I've ever in my life seen.
At least we'd have some lumps in there kicking people, and that. You know what I'm saying? Like, we
used to have players that would kick people up the arse and kick them up in the air. But those Jorginho and Havertz are just so weak. They don't have any passion for the game at all. They're just bagging their pensions. That's all they're doing, man. I mean, for a player of 24 years of age in Havertz, who actually can't get up for a game, yeah, I'm sorry, man. He's got to go. He's got to go. I mean, Arteta, Edu, and all that bunch of absolute clowns that get involved in these transfers. You've got to turn around and look at yourselves in the bloody mirror and have a word and say, actually, we got this one badly wrong. You're out the door, mate, in January. You're not the levels of Arsenal. And I know we'll lose millions and millions and millions.
Yeah, but Jez, we won't lose millions. I'll tell you why. Because that payment's amortized. yeah, over length of time. I'll give you a perfect example, yeah. When Man United signed Di Maria from Real Madrid for about 70 million or whatever it was, yeah, that was spread over the 5-year contract. So when they sold him for about 50 odd, yeah, it looks on paper to the world, oh my God, they've lost 20 odd million quid. But the way the payment structure broke down on their books, it showed they made a profit. Yeah, well, yes, they probably lost a little bit of money. Obviously, you know, finance is better than me, Jez, running a business and all that previously. But there's clever finance, the way you can do it on the accounts and that. Yeah, that you're not going to lose that much money on a player. So get rid of him. Go and get 40 million quid for him and bin him. Yeah, 30 million. Send him back to Germany. He's crap.
That's my point. I mean, I'm not that clever in that high. You know, the levels we're talking about, I was never in that level. That's way above my pay scale. But the fact, what I'm trying to say is, this management have got to turn around and have a meeting and talk to them and say, sort themselves and say, we've got it wrong here, boys. This guy's got to go. Okay. And if there's a payment structure, fair enough, whatever. I don't know. Get him out the door. This guy is not the levels. Now, you can click me on this one. I said at the start of the season, when we got him, I'm sure there is a player in there somewhere. It's down to Arteta to find him. Stupid comment by me. Obviously, there isn't a player in there. And obviously, Arteta is not the man to get that player out of him, because I said at the start of your stream today, has he improved any player at Arsenal Football Club? No. All he's done is ruin players. I don't think anybody can disagree with me on that comment, because all I've seen is good quality players come in. Kieran Tierney, absolute class, left back, destroyed. Yeah. Thomas Partey, class midfielder, destroyed. All right, he's got injury problems. Fair play. But all we do is buy the cheap food at Tesco's. Jesus, not an out-and-out striker. Decent player, but he's not an out-and-out striker. Yeah? Where do we go from there? Havertz, cheap food, off food, gone off. Yeah? You know, he's a gone-off cabbage at the end of the day. You know, I'm sorry. And then we've got
hilarious. He's a gone-off cabbage.
Jorginho, Brussels sprouts from last bloody Christmas. Yeah? Thinking the stuff out. Yeah, this is where we are at Arsenal. Yeah, we buy absolute dross, because I don't know why we do it, actually. I don't know why. Is it just...
Do you know what I think is the reason why we don't, under this manager anyway, he'll go and buy players that will say yes to him. Players that he can put an arm around and they'll be inspired by his words, because he's a great motivational speaker. Saka's and all of that lot are looking up to him when he's saying, what's better, the destination or the journey? Aubameyang and Lacazette are going, what the fuck are you waffling about, mate? Yeah, we just want to play football. Yeah, and then he'll surround himself with all them youngsters because they're easy to control. Anybody who doesn't want to be controlled and wants to call stuff out of the club, you're out the club. Yeah, which is fair enough. Now you have to win stuff. You've got to win stuff.
The situation Kai Havertz is, the thing about it, right? The things that Arsenal fans are praising him for, and you know, are praising for, they're praising him for things that we didn't buy him for. They're praising him because he was part of the first press. He worked his nuts off. He got stuck in. You know, there was a few instances where he put in what I thought was a nice cross. But the situation is that for £65 million, how many? He's like he's making his debut every game.
Yeah,
I thought every game, and that's what we get with Kai Havertz. A lot of performances. There's only one performance who's been probably catastrophic, but all the rest of them have been okay. But we didn't pay 65 million for an okay performance. We paid 65 million for some sort of like attacking impetus and creativity. Now, without Odegaard on the side, that burden of creativity fell on Kai. You know, the little creativity was available. But what Kai done is that it seems like our manager was more intent in making us difficult to beat, rather than using, you know, the amount of football that we had in order to try and open him up. I mean, as much as we everyone talks about Declan. Declan only made that run into the box once. That's not going to help us win matches, because what our players did is that it was a case of getting the ball, passing it sideways, then get it back, pass it sideways, pass it back to the keeper. He tries to go down the right, it's blocked, so they come in, cut in, give it back to Jorginho, give it to Declan Rice. He'll give it back, but that's all we saw. That's all we saw. We didn't see any chances being created. We saw one where Martinelli got him, finally lost, Trippier. But that shot was the equivalent of, hitting out of the deep in Mumbai against Australia, and David Warner catch you in the deep. That was the equivalent of what it was. It was a comfortable catch for Pope. But that's how we are this season, against teams that know how to defend, know how to set up, and have got a goal threat. We're going to find it difficult to break these teams down until we get these players back sharpish. We need to get whatever problems Arteta's having with Partey, sort them out. Deal with it at the end of the season. We need Jesus and Partey in that team like yesterday, because without those two, we're going to find it very, very difficult to break good teams down. Don't get me wrong. On Saturday, Burnley are going to be the gift that keeps on giving. They're going to play the Burnley way. They're going to play, very expansively. Haven't got the players to see it through. They will create chance, get good openings, but they haven't got. They've got a championship mentality. So what will happen is that there'll be loads of space for our players to have some fun. Eddie will look like
we'll
Pele.
look amazing at the weekend. We'll look unreal. Odegaard will come back, he'll set up a couple of chances, score a goal. Saka and Martinelli score. Oh, you were all moaning for nothing.
Exactly. But what will happen is that we go to Brentford just after Brentford. It's going to be a very hard game. And after Brentford, we've got who is it? We've got Lons at home in the Champions League. And after Lons, it's Wolves. Now, don't get me wrong. Wolves are probably the most unluckiest team in the Premiership. They've had 3 VAR decisions where I've apologised to them 3 times. They actually play football a bit, but unfortunately,
I haven't seen any of their fans kicking off about VAR, and they've had more go against them this season than anyone.
Yeah, poor old Gary O'Neill.
That penalty they got given against them at the weekend was a disgrace. How's that a penalty?
Yeah,
I ain't seen them putting out stuff.
Did you see Fabio in tears? He was crying.
Yeah, mate. I ain't seen them putting out club statements, and their fans all trying to get petitions to get refs sacked and stuff. Flipping embarrassing. Yeah, but all this does is divert away. And the fact that our manager's done that just diverts away from the actual shambolic performances. Yeah, like you said earlier, Kenny, 4 games this season we've played all right. One of them was for a second half against Sheffield United, right? PSV, Bournemouth, second half against Sheffield United, and there was one other, so I can't remember which one. Yeah, but a Man City, that weren't a great game, but last 12 games we've gone up against Man City and tried to have a little bit of a go. We've been battered. So I'll give Arteta a pass on that. Yeah, we got lucky with a goal. But again, that one bit of quality from Thomas Partey pretty much won us that game. Yeah, let's just be real with it. Yeah, that game was poor. That game at the weekend was poor. Yeah, that was 2 teams that were cancelling each other out all the way through that game. Yeah, and ultimately...
Both teams didn't want to lose. Both teams.
But we did. Do you know what's mad as well, lads? This is crazy, right? Last season we beat Newcastle away, right? So there's 3 points less out of that fixture that we ain't got now. Oh, but VAR, tough. Last season we beat Tottenham at home. We drew with them this season at home. Yeah, last season we beat Chelsea away. We drew with them at home this season. Sorry, at their ground. Right? So there's 7 points out of 9 drops straight away. Yeah, Man United we beat last season. Cool. So there's still 3 points we've only got at extra. Yeah, out of them games. Yeah. Right. Well, Man City, sorry. So we've taken out of them games so far 8 points. Last season, the only game we lost was Man City. We won every other game. So in the terms of the bigger games, we're getting found out big time this season. Yeah,
but it's the midfield, though. It's the midfield. The common denominator in those games, we lost a midfield battle against Chelsea. We did. Where we locked up for some only the Poch knows why he thought the game was won. Only he knows what happened. When we played Spurs at the Emirates, had Son in Madison stayed on the pitch, we would have lost that game. We would have lost 3 or 4-2 because Spurs were murdering us in midfield, especially in that second half. They were absolutely murdering us. It was like they weren't going gung-ho. What they're doing is that they were very 2 things they did to us. First, they were on the front foot through Maddison and the runs from Son and Kulusevski and Johnson when he was on the pitch. And then what they did is they saw Jorginho as a weak link, so they pressed him out the game and pressed him into areas. That's how they got the second goal. But Son and Maddison ran out of legs. You look at the game against West Ham. The midfield, West Ham just toyed with us in the second half. It was the midfield again against Newcastle. The midfield just had no creativity at all. So it was basically sideways passing, sideways on, back, passing it back, sideways on, trying to break them down. Can't break them down, sideways on. That's the situation. Unless we sort out our midfield, we've got major problems. But the thing is, we now know that Eddie is a flat track bully.
Yeah. Well, we knew that anyway. 37 goals in 7 years.
Mm.
But he scores the odd goal against Chelsea and gives it all of that in lockdown. I remember that guy scoring against Fulham in the 96th minute, right? Running around giving it all of that to an empty stadium. Yeah, that's how shameless these players are, mate. 100 grand a week for that. Yeah. Instead of Arteta sitting there saying it's embarrassing, it's a disgrace. What is embarrassing and disgraceful, mate, is you paying him 100 grand a week. They're giving Reece Nelson 5 million cash in your bank. There you go, signing on fee, 100 grand. Yeah, we got rid of Nicola Pepe. What can Reece Nelson do that Nicola Pepe couldn't?
Exactly.
What can he do that Pepe couldn't? Yeah, maybe get a little bit of less wage. Well, with that extra 5 mil he's got in his bank, it probably levels out about the same as Pepe's weekly wage. Like, come on, it's mad. It's actually crazy. Yeah, when you actually look at some of the money we pay these players.
See, the thing is, he's given them contracts to play. The names you mentioned Elneny, you mentioned Reece Nelson. These guys were effectively out of contract. So if they're effectively out of contract, that's a saving where you do get get better players in order to change for places. Now, I don't understand. I've never seen a situation where you can get someone to sign an extended contract when their contracts run out, and yet they have no impact on the game, on your squad, and they hardly ever get on. Reece Nelson, has come on, but there's games where we think, well, Reece could have played and he hasn't played, and then Elneny's the biggest enigma ever. I don't understand why you've given Elneny a new contract, yet games where it was all right for him to play when Thomas Partey was injured 2 seasons ago, Man United and Chelsea, he can't get a game because you feel that Jorginho controls possession a bit more and he doesn't give the ball away. Yet, when you want someone to pro in midfield and try to at least try to beat Thomas Partey, you don't understand. So I'm beginning to ask myself, are we an attacking team? Because the way we lionise Declan Rice and say he's a complete midfielder, well, I'm not seeing that. I'm seeing a guy who's doing 2 or 3 people's jobs and looking $1 million at it, but I don't see him, like trying to, have that, that Pele ball that, sometimes Partey attempts. I don't see him bridging that gap between the attack and defence. I don't see Elneny getting a pass. I see Jorginho being a very important player in that squad. But again, I don't see many forward passes from Jorginho. So what team are we? Because as I see with Arteta, the start of play changes every year. It's different. But from what I'm looking at now, he's put all his eggs in one basket. He's created a style of play with the assumption that Jesus is going to be there, Timber is going to be playing, and maybe Partey might rotate between left back and the midfield. He hasn't got those players, yet he's still trying to play that style of play, which is madness. It's mad.
It's unreal. Do you know what's mad, yeah? Elneny, I'd rather him start than Jorginho. Number one, he's more athletic. Yeah, number two, he'll try and keep it simple. Yeah, like that goal that was conceded against Tottenham, the equaliser for them, the second one. There's no way Elneny does that. It just give the ball to someone else or just lump it straight up the pitch and hope somebody wins it. But we wouldn't have been in a position with Elneny, that Maddison can rob him 25 yards out and then set it up. It's just embarrassing, mate. Absolutely embarrassing. But the fact that he's even at the club is embarrassing in itself. The fact Jorginho is at the club, the fact Havertz is at the club, Reece is still here. Yeah, I've just put the stats for Eddie Nketiah up. 147 Arsenal games. 147, yeah? 37 goals, 6 assists. 147 games, 37 goals over 6 years. Where's the outrage? Because our fans were outraged about Pepe scoring 27 and 21 assists in 112 games. Yeah, let's be real. They're both coming off the bench most games. What's the difference? You want to hand that player out, but you're lording up Eddie. Oh, he can kick on now. He ain't kicked on for 7 years. Yeah, well, I don't get it. The only thing that's changed at this football club, is the fans have bought into all of this PR around this manager and these players. Yeah, and they do their stupid little goal celebrations. Yeah, and like this is why when Declan Rice scored the other week, who was it against? And he scored, and it was against Chelsea. He didn't celebrate that goal. He just ran back to the halfway line and said, "Come on, let's get back in this game. Like, let's go and get a second. Let's go and win the game." Yeah, like if that was any of our other players, they would have been jumping around milking that. Yeah, fair enough. He obviously sits on social media and sees people getting younger.
When we're playing Bournemouth, instead of trying to run down when he got the equaliser, instead of running down to the centre circle and say let's go and win this when there's enough time, spent more time celebrating. I think he was doing the can, wasn't he?
Yeah, he celebrated for about 3 minutes. Big ups to everyone inside. We are going to wrap this up though. I am going live in a minute. I'm going to go for a quick bathroom break, and then I'll be live for the Tottenham game against Chelsea on the second channel. It will redirect you to that channel. But big up to everybody inside. Make sure you are smashing these likes through the roof, people. We're nearly on 400. There's 905 inside. The pinned comment is Arsenal History and More, Jez's channel. It's also got Kenny Ken 1972's Insta there. But yeah, this is it's not great. And everyone who's been asking me all the way through the stream, who would you take as the manager? Simeone. Yeah, and for anyone, I know they lost at the weekend to Las Palmas and all of that. Yeah, anybody who has not watched that Letty this season, let me tell you right now, I've watched every game apart from that one at the weekend. Watched every one of their games, whether it's been live or on playback. I've watched every game. Yeah, and they have been absolutely balling. They've been playing football like we played for 93% of last season. Yeah, but it's a myth that he plays negative football. And I'll tell you something, yeah, we could get them in the next round of the Champions League. And if we do, they will rip us a new one. Yeah, Morata has been on fire this season. Griezmann flying. You know, they've got some good players. Rodrigo de Paul's having a great season. Yeah? And I'll tell you now, my personal choice is Simeone, but that's only because Ancelotti's going Brazil to be Brazil's national manager. Otherwise, I'd take Ancelotti in a heartbeat. Oh, but Lee, they drew at the weekend to Rayo Vallecano. And what? Yeah, they will win stuff this season. We won't. Yeah, but what did he do at Everton? Well, he had them mid-table, mate. Where are they now? Where have they been since he left?
He should have got a medal for that. He should have got a medal for that. Because
where did he have Napoli? He had Napoli so set up that the following season, after or 2 seasons after he left, they won the league.
Yeah, but the problem with Arsenal fans, right, is that they're going to, a lot of the people who hate our guts are going to say, we are Arsenal haters. That's all they're going to see is that I had one guy, last 2 seasons ago, just when we came out for lockdown, and Nigerian guy said, "How comes you hate Arsenal?" I said, "Mate, before you heard of Arsenal, I've probably gone to about 100 games. You're new to this, like you're new to this. You look at this stadium, in front of you, and tell me how many league titles you see. You haven't, have you?" And then I just said, "Right, you've got a problem with what I got. Go to the Tony Adams statue, turnstile D, and go on the fan cams, and then they'll have you, and you can go and tell them what you think of me." I just walked off.
Mate, this is the problem though, yeah, because we call this crap out and we don't buy into all the PR peddled out by these dickheads. Right? They go, "Oh, you're negative," because they can't dismiss how many games we've watched between us all. They can't dismiss how many years we've supported this club between us all. They can't bully us online. Yeah. So what have they got left? They have to try and dismiss your character. Oh, you're a disgrace. You're a hater. Yeah, you're disturbed mentally. You're this, you're that. Yeah, you're a Spurs fan in disguise. You're only doing it for the clicks. Yeah, I had this conversation with Rance the other day. If I was doing it for the clicks, I would get more clicks. Yeah, I'd get more clicks sucking off everything about this football club because that's a surefire way to get a following, mate. Trust me. Yeah, trust me.
It's work. It works a lot of times, but the situation is that I think what it is that I think we're battle hardened. We got the scars. We got we've had the bullets taken out of our backs. We've had the sort of like surgery after war. So we're able to say, "England here, we love the club, but we don't have to be in a situation where we like these young fans who think, you know what, I'm going to be like Ian Wright. If anyone criticises Arsenal, I'm going to take it personally. If Arsenal are playing, they're always right. Our players never commit a foul. Our players are, the best team players in the country, despite the fact that the evidence suggests otherwise. We're all going to go around the playground that Christ the King in Tottenham Park and sing, we all agree Arsenal magic, Spurs are tragic. And that's what a lot of our fan base are like. It's true, though. A lot of our fan base do have that persona. And it's everyone now. The fans who try to, analyse the games properly, they're not listened to, and they're being kind of shoved in the corner, because at the end of the day, what sells is being a top gooner and having that kind of childlike mentality that you have in a playground, that your team's best. I mean, I remember in the 80s when Liverpool were the best team in the country, but Arsenal fans, kids, still argued against Liverpool's success because we thought Arsenal's best. You know what I mean? We all thought our wives we all had the prettiest wives at home. You know what I mean? That kind of mentality, that we had the strongest brother. That's how Arsenal fans debate. The club at the moment. It's positive.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, and the thing is, everyone wants to be seen as the biggest and best football fan. We're going to wrap up on this super chat real quick because I desperately need to go bathroom before I do this live. I'm going to be going live for anyone who's just joined for the Chelsea game away to Tottenham. That'll be on the second channel. It'll redirect you. My first game, believe it or not, was Graham Rix's testimonial. And we lost 5-2 to Tottenham. At Highbury, 5-2 loss. And I still went back. But there we go. Is what it is, isn't it? Is what it is. I'm a fake fan. Half of these fans don't even know who Graham Rick. Well, it's probably best you don't know who he is nowadays, to be fair.
Yeah, God
yeah, probably best. Yeah. But there we go. Big up to Footy Highlights as well, man. Let me read this out. I did thank you in the comments, mate. Top Gunners were saying Arsenal will go for the quad, given the transfer windows of 10 of the same people who will have you tell you it was a thin squad come, mate. Bro, this is why I just ignore them. Yeah, I'll call them out when I have to. Yeah. And when they all turn, I said this the other day on my fan cam, and I've said it on many other shows, yeah? When this lot all do turn on this manager and want him out, I'm Arteta in. Yeah, and I'm going to use every single one of their pathetic, weak, excuses that they've used over the last 4 years, yeah? And I'm going to use every single one of them back on them. I'm going to say, no, back your manager, mate. It's a process. If you can't see what he's doing, you can all let. I'm going to use every single thing. The receipts are up here, mate. But anyway, cheers. Big up to you for coming on, my friend. Big up to everybody inside. Smash the likes. Make sure you follow Jez, Arsenal History and more. What do you have coming up, man?
5:30 tomorrow, weekly chat with Kenny Ken. And I've got the Yeti coming on as well. And then at 8 o'clock tomorrow night is the big history show about the Arsenal firms. That's going to be a good one. I'd like to answer your super chat. My first game at Highbury was August 1968. Arsenal, West Brom. There you go.
1968. Wow. Go on, Jez. You're a fake fan, though, mate.
Never been before in my life.
What about you, Kenny? What was your first game?
My first game I went to was in the 70s. My mum, because we used to live around the corner, so we used to get tickets through Easy. That was I think around 1978. But what I consider my first game on my own, because I don't like adults taking me. I like to go on my own. Because I was actually I was allowed to go on my own for the first time in the 17th of December 1984, when I was 12, and I took a 9-year-old and a 10-year-old with me, and we went in the turnstile. And it was Watford, where we went 1-0 up. Ian Allison had his penalty saved by Tony Coton, and he hit in the rebound. And then I think, who is it? Les Taylor got the equaliser, and then we nearly missed it because the guy who was with, a little prat, said, "Oh, I want to go home. It's going to be hard getting out." So we said, "Well, go and buzz off. We still use go on your own." And we made it abundantly clear that he won't. That if he doesn't have the right football etiquette, he's not coming to us again. And I don't really go football with him again because I don't know about you guys, but I can't leave before the final whistle.
Nope.
There was a lot of fans who left before the final whistle last week in London Stadium. Respect to that, but I can't do it and I won't do that. So I'm a very difficult person to go football with, because that's why I'm very reluctant when I go away games. I like to go on my Jack Jones, because I certainly don't want to be get a lift with someone, and then all of a sudden we're 4-0 down with 15 minutes to go, and it's get a night day home. Sorry, I'm not. That's my football experience. So I'm not sharing with anyone.
There you go. Big up for coming on, man. You're on with Jez tomorrow, right?
I'm on with Jez tomorrow. I was on with Dan and Lee yesterday. It was very 5. Jez tomorrow, Dan 30. And I'm just going to be watching the Spurs Chelsea game, because I'm sorry, Arsenal fans. I will watch Spurs and I'll watch Chelsea because I can, because I'm a football fan, just as much as I'm an Arsenal fan. I like to see other clubs play. Now, you may not enjoy it, and you want to get clicks and baits and say, "Oh, I don't want to have my eyes spoilt by watching Spurs." Watching Spurs, good for you, mate.
They all watch Spurs. They all watch it. They watch it. It's like when they say they don't care about the League Cup, but then they'll sit and watch it. Yeah, the Champions Cup, it's full of shit. It's all for a fake.
I'll be supporting Chelsea today, Arsenal fans, because I'll be supporting Chelsea.
Always.
And on that bombshell, big up to everybody inside. I'll be back again in literally, well, as quick as it takes me to go to the bathroom and restock my Suaves. So yeah, give me about 5 minutes. I'll be on the other channel. It's going to redirect you. And hopefully we're going to see a good game of football, because there's been some shockers over the last few weeks, including our last two. Tomorrow I'm back with rants on here at 2:30, and then straight after that I'm on with Terry Flewers, and then I'm back on the other channel, Lee Reacts. I'm going to do Atleti versus Celtic, which I should have done last week, but there we go. We picked the wrong game. We picked Newcastle last week, and then Wednesday obviously match day. So yeah, big up to everyone who's joined. Big up to the lads as well. We're out of here. I'll Arteta out.
Arteta out, you prick.
Please.